Hello, and congratulations on completing your wealthy versus poor assessment. In the next few minutes, we're going to debrief your assessment and share with you the habits of the wealthy. And I'd like to share with you some really interesting insights, maybe about yourself. So, part one, we're going to review your assessment results and identify the habits that you have that are also the habits of the wealthy, and which habits you may have that are the habits of the poor. In part two of this video, we're going to introduce you to a 24-hour wealth challenge and give you the chance to improve your cash flow by $1,200 in the next 24 hours by actually having fun with wealth. Hi, my name is Jim Bunch, and I'm the founder of The Ultimate Game of Life. And our mission here at The Ultimate Game of Life is really clear and really simple. It's simply to inspire happiness, health, and wealth worldwide. You know, I've had a passion for transformation for almost 20 years now. I've shared the platform with some of the best transformational leaders on the planet like Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, and John Assaraf, which you may recognize from the hit movie The Secret. Jack Canfield, one of the most successful authors of all time, who co-authored the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, and someone you may not be familiar with, one of my mentors, Thomas Leonard, who shared with me some really great insights about why people do and don't achieve wealth and why they do and don't create the habits of the wealthy. And that, of course, is what we're here to talk about today, is the habits of the wealthiest people. Now, the world's richest people come from a variety of backgrounds. They are, however, having certain traits or characteristics that are common amongst them. And we here at the Ultimate Game of Life love to study the happiest, healthy, and wealthiest people to pass on the traits and the characteristics that they have. So you may be familiar or seen this stat before that currently, based in 2013 in US dollars, there are 31,680,000 millionaires on the planet. There are 1,426 known billionaires. And I say known billionaires because there are people who are billionaires that don't make it publicly known. This is based on the 2013 Forbes World's Billionaire list. And you may have heard of some of these people like Carlos Slim or Bill Gates or Amancio Ortega, Warren Buffett, Larry Ellison. Many of them have created companies. But what's important is not just that they've created companies, but that they have the habits that are similar to each other. Now, here's some interesting stories also about some of the billionaires that made the list, that 68% of the 400 Americans that are on the Forbes 2013 billionaires list are considered to be self-made billionaires, meaning that they built rather than inherited their fortune. And you might be familiar with people like Jean-Paul DeJoria, who basically was selling Paul Mitchell hair products door to door while living out of his car and now has an over $4 billion net worth, or Oprah Winfrey, who was raised in rural poverty and ran away from home as a teen due to abuse, or Howard Schultz, the founder of Starbucks, which has served many, many millions of cups of coffee. He was raised in the projects in Brooklyn and now has over a $2 billion net worth. So as we debrief your assessment, I want to remind you that the following traits won't necessarily make you rich, but hey, it's worth a shot, right? So let's take a look at how you did in your assessment. And let's start to, first off, qualify what is it that we're considering wealthy. Now, this particular study of the daily habits of 233 wealthy people and 128 poor people was done originally by Thomas C. Corley. And I think it's important to recognize that he considers the wealthy people as having at least $160,000 a year in earnings, and that they hold at least a $3.2 million in assets. Now, to qualify that, that does not include alone their real estate assets. So many people might have $1 million home, but this does not include that. Okay, the poor he defines as income under $30,000 per year and less than $5,000 in assets. So when you think about this, and you think that currently there's 7 billion or plus people on this planet, it's pretty easy to see that the majority of the world is probably not reaching their goals. As a matter of fact, the majority of the world can fall into one of these two categories. They're either broke and stressed out, or they're rich and confident. Now, I know that's not fair to draw a broad stroke, but for the purpose of this assessment, all I want you to do is to take a look at what are the habits that you have that are similar to the ultra wealthy, and what are the habits that you might have that you may or may not be aware of are causing you to be a little poorer than you could be. So, in our assessment, we asked you, number one, do you maintain a to-do list? Okay. 81% of the wealthy people surveyed maintain a to-do list, which, if you think about it, it allows you to organize and prioritize and take effective actions, versus 9% of the poor are currently maintaining to-do lists. What about this? Do you wake up 3+ hours or more before work? 44%, almost half of the wealthy, get up at least 3 hours before work. Now, I found this to be rather interesting, and you have to ask yourself, what is it that they're doing prior to everybody else getting up and moving around? Well, oftentimes they're reviewing their goals, they're planning out their day, they're making sure that they get a jump start on the day. So one of the habits of the wealthy, at least almost half of them, is they wake up at least 3+ hours before work. Here's another one. 63% listen to audiobooks during a commute. So they might be commuting by plane or train or car or walking or whatever it is, but they're constantly feeding their minds with different types of information that is obviously helping them create wealth and keep their mental game sharp. The next one was networking 5+ hours or more each month. Almost 80%, 79% of the wealthy network 5+ hours or more each month, while only 16% of the poor do this. Now, I want to clarify for this. Billionaires and millionaires do not network by going to your typical networking events where they're passing out business cards and trying to get somebody to buy their products and services. That's not what we do. What millionaires and billionaires do is we constantly are putting ourselves into social situations where we're around other people who are movers and shakers. We're constantly looking for ways to create value, not to take, but to create value. And we're constantly looking for other players in the game of business and in life who are playing at a high level game so that we can collaborate and we can connect and we can communicate and learn and share from each other. So you won't find them handing out their business cards at a local luncheon. What you will find, however, is you'll find us putting ourselves in environments where we know that other movers and shakers are going to be. Another habit that the wealthy have as a daily routine is reading for 30+ minutes or more each day. Look at the stats. 88% of the wealthy people surveyed read for 30+ minutes or more per day. You see, reading develops the mind and positions you to be informed when you're networking with other wealthy people. It keeps you on top of current events, but it also gives you things to converse about and to keep the conversation lively. And that leads us to the last one about these daily routines is 86% of the wealthy love to read versus 26% of the poor. That's almost 4 times as much likelihood that the wealthy will read over the poor. Now, these are only a few of the things that we're obviously taking a look at, but we dove a little deeper and we said, what about their health? Ask yourself this question. If 23% of the poor are exercising at least 4 days a week, but 76% of the wealthy are, why is that? Why is it that the wealthy, who have the opportunity to eat what they want, eat as much as they want, eat all kinds of foods, why is it that they're investing so much energy into their health? Well, it's because they recognize that a healthy body creates a healthy mind, and a healthy mind gives you more energy, more focus, and helps you achieve your wealth goals. The other thing is, what do we put into our systems? You know, if you look at the amount of junk food calories, 70% of the wealthy eat less than 300 calories of junk food every day, versus 95% of the poor are eating more than 300 calories every day of junk food. You see, the wealthy people not only exercise, but they watch what they put in their bodies so that we can maximize our energy and our mental clarity. And I think that this is one of the competitive advantages that most people don't realize is junk food actually can hold you back from creating wealth. The next thing is, what do you watch? Not only what are we putting into our bodies, but what are we putting into our minds? And the wealthy people, as an average, watch way less TV than the poor. Now, many people go, okay, this makes sense. But when you're thinking about this, if you're putting information into your mind that is creating positive habits and creating a positive mindset, you're probably going to have a likelihood of success. 67% of the wealthy watch less than 1 hour of television per day versus 6% of the poor. And what are they watching? Well, they're not watching reality TV. If you look at this, 6% of the wealthy watch reality TV shows versus 78% of the poor. Again, I'm going to restate this. Only 6% of the wealthy watch reality TV shows and 78% of the poor. You see, the wealthy are not going to invest or waste their time in things that don't advance their goals, things that don't improve their life. So you may want to consider watching less reality TV and reading a book instead or listening to audios. Or if you're going to watch reality TV, make sure that it's reality TV that's actually moving you into action. It's educating you. It's inspiring you. I'm not saying that all TV is bad. What I am saying, though, is what you put into your mind is going to make a huge impact on your life overall. Now let's talk about the third category here of goals. And many of you have probably heard that you should write down your goals. But let's take a look at the actual stats of what the wealthy do versus the poor. 67% of the wealthy write down their goals versus 17% for the poor. So right off the bat, there's over a 300% increase in what the wealthy do with writing goals than what the poor do. You see, the wealthy people are focused on using tools such as writing down goals to accomplish what they want in life. It brings it to a common focus. And that's the second question. Do the wealthy people multitask, or do they focus on accomplishing a single goal? I find it rather intriguing that 80% of the wealthy are focused on accomplishing a single goal versus 12% of the poor. We recognize that when you can complete something, it's way better than starting 10 things. How about this? How many of the wealthy believe in a lifelong educational and self-improvement? 86%. That's almost 90%. That's almost every single one of them believe in lifelong educational and self-improvement. If you think about it, this is probably because many of them came from very meager beginnings. And they realize that part of their ability to reach the levels of wealth that they have is because they've invested in their education. And I'm not just talking about math, science, English, and history. They're talking about education to constantly improve themselves. Education that gives them a mental advantage, an emotional advantage, a physical advantage, and it helps them create a better life. What about this? What percentage of the wealthy believe that good habits actually creates opportunity? 84% believe that the habits that they have create the opportunities. It's not luck. It is actually a disciplined set of habits that puts them in the right energy and the right space to be able to create a successful life. Versus only 4% of the poor believe that their habits have anything to do with their success. I think that's probably one of the biggest ones besides the lifelong education that you should really consider is, have you trained yourself to be happy, healthy, and wealthy, or unknowingly trained yourself to be unhappy, sick, or broke? And on the flip side of that, 76% of the wealthy believe that bad habits have a negative impact on their ability to succeed versus only 9% of the poor. When you think about these statistics, you have to ask yourself, what are the real differences? And these stories of rags to riches and how people have gone from nothing to creating massive amounts of wealth and being able to contribute to a lot of people in the world, there are a lot of factors in that. I don't want to suggest that it's following just these traits of what you eat and what you put into your mind and what you do on a daily basis are the only things that are going to make you rich. But I would suggest that it's probably one of the best things that I've seen people can do is to change their mental programming, is to redesign their environments, and more importantly, create the habits of the wealthy. Because in my experience of having worked with entrepreneurs and business owners and politicians and people from across the world, it's not enough to just model the habits of the wealthy. Okay, you can't just do what they do and expect to get the same results. If it was, you go, hey, this is pretty easy. Becoming wealthy should be really easy. All I have to do is number one, set goals. All right, so set some goals. I'm going to set a goal to be a millionaire or a billionaire in the next 10 years. Number two, it seems easy that you should just take daily actions to create wealth. Seems pretty logical, right? But why is it that so many people still continue to struggle? And they struggle in many areas of their life. They don't get to where they want to go in life. I mean, look at this young man. This is kind of, we put this in here for humor, but he's got his underwear wrapped around his forehead. A lot of people are struggling at life, and it's simply because they're going about it the wrong way. You may have heard some stats around this, but we've actually done numerous studies with over 10,000 people, and what we've discovered is only 4% of the people that we've surveyed are actually reaching their goals and their potential in life. Now, if you think about it, that's a 96% failure rate. Now, I don't know about you, but you've got to ask the question, why is it that only 4% are succeeding and 96% are failing? Well, the simple reality is this. Wealth comes down to where do you invest the majority of your life. You know, there's 86,400 seconds in a day. But this means nothing if you don't know how to use them, if you're not properly applying and investing the time that you have. And what we see time in and time out is many people are doing life by default. They've actually created a series of bad habits that are keeping them stuck and unhappy, sick, and broke. Whereas on the flip side, people who understand how to do life by design have created a happy, healthy, and wealthy game of life. And the simple reality is this. It's not just enough to model the habits of the wealthy. The reality is, you've got to have the right beliefs. You need a plan. You need specific steps. And you've got to make sure that you're willing to take risks. Now, the key is you're going to take risks, but you don't want to be at risk. You're going to take small risks at first and then bigger risks as you build wealth. And of course, you don't want to take on more than what you can handle right now, but you do have to challenge yourself. You do have to stretch yourself. You have to want to be more. You have to want to do more. You have to have more in life, and that'll give you the energy and the confidence to move forward towards a happier, healthier, and wealthier life. So, as I mentioned before, I want to introduce you to a 24-hour challenge. Because the first step in achieving wealth is to take action. And many people who create wealth recognize that they don't want to procrastinate in life. So what we've done is we've actually created a 24-hour challenge. We've tested this with thousands of people across the world and had amazing results because of the environment that we've created. And in the last 24-hour challenge we ran, our players in the game created over $110,000 in savings per month in just 24 hours. Now, you may be asking, what is this 24 hours, right? Well, let me answer that. Number one, we want to help you have fun with money. We have found that way too many people take finances so seriously, they get so stressed out that they're not having fun in creating wealth. And what we found is a way to actually create a process to help you eliminate financial stress, to have fun, and to enjoy turning your finances into something that is going to help you jumpstart your path towards wealth and, more importantly, help you build your financial skills. Now, we've tested this again with thousands of people from over 45 countries, and time again, we've had successful results. The next question you might be asking is, well, what will this do for me? And we've narrowed it down to 3 things. Number one, you're going to learn how to manage your cash flow the way that the wealthy do using a proprietary conversation we talk about called the 3 C's of money. Number two, you're going to identify ways to immediately put $1,200 of cash right back into your pocket in the next 24 hours, and we'll show you step by step how to do it. And number three, we're going to teach you a better understanding of your finances. And by the way, this is what the wealthy people do without fail, time and time again. So for those of you who say, hey, you know what? A 24-hour challenge sounds fun. Let me share with you a little bit about what you get in the 24 hours. Number one, you're going to get our proprietary 5-step strategy that you will start and complete in 24 hours. Now, a little hint here. Wealthy people leverage the proven plans and strategies that have stood the test of time. In other words, they don't waste their time trying to recreate the wheel. They actually follow the strategies that have worked before them. So we're going to share with you our proprietary 5-step strategy that you can start and finish in 24 hours. Number two, you're going to have 2 recorded live webinars. These are webinars with live audiences that are playing the 24-hour challenge, and you get to see exactly what they're doing and what you're doing to improve your wealth in 24 hours. Number three, you're going to get our cheat sheet with 100 easy ways to save money now. Now, you could probably figure this out on your own, but we've put it all into one simple document that you can go down the list and immediately start putting money back into your pocket. And the fourth thing you're going to get in this 24-hour challenge is a player's guide with details on how to play and win the 24-hour challenge. And more importantly, have fun putting $1,200 back into your pocket immediately. Now, the crazy thing is most people never had fun with money, but what we've done is we've created an environment that keeps it fun, inspiring, and moving forward in a quick pace so that you can actually overcome some of the hurdles that have held you back in the past. Let me share with you some of the things that some of our players in our last 24-hour challenge said, and this came straight from our chat log, which you'll actually be able to read. Jamie Fuller said, I put $720 a year back in my pocket in just the first 4 hours of the 24-hour challenge. Susan Hamilton said, yes, I did. I just said, how can we lower my phone bill? And voila, $240 saved in a year with one phone call. By the way, that only took a couple of minutes. Mary Lou White paid off a 29% interest credit card, which is saving her $2,760 per year in 24 hours. Len Mooney had a big issue reduced to about $200 a month, put $2,400 right back into his pocket. Luann Hagee eliminated 2 memberships, which is $118.99 per month, $1,427.88 right back into her pocket. Now, if you think about it, if somebody were to hand you a check right now for $1,400 or $2,400 or $720, wouldn't you be excited? I know I would, and we're giving specific strategies on how to do this. Lori found 3 areas to readjust her finances and put $1,800 back in her pocket immediately. 2 more. Andrea Vlanderen cut out $110 in monthly expenses, which is $1,320 a year, back into her pocket. And Jordan Ramirez said she spoke with our mortgage company and lowered our monthly payment by $155 per month, reinstated our monthly food budget, which we had gotten away from, which saves us $400 per month, adjusted our cable and internet and phone bill to save $75 per month, which is a total of $630 per month or $7,560 per year. Now, for many people, that's more than 1 or 2 car payments. If you think about it, there is money that you may be ignoring that we could put right back into your pocket. Well, we asked players, why does the 24-hour challenge work so well for them? And you can see for people like Bruce, it was because there was a concentrated time frame of 24 hours. He knew there was a start and a finish. You know, Elaine said, what worked for me was the power of focus and the accountability to the community. You see, there's other people that are going to go through this 24-hour challenge and share their wins, share their challenges, and overcome those hurdles. Christina said, I like the focus and the direction, the simple 5-step structure. I followed your structure, and that really gave me a framework to make my lists and take some actions. Ryan Miller said the two things that I would say were the short time frames of 24 hours and the accountability. Specifically, the accountability group and knowing that at 4 o'clock you were on the call, you had a personal accountability to say that you had either completed this task or you let the ball drop. You see, we at the Ultimate Game of Life believe that life is a team sport, and we don't want you to play this game alone. We want you to connect with other people who are also creating wealth. And of course, Sam Sanson said, mine was looking at what other people posted, and that inspired me to do other things that I hadn't thought about, new ideas from the community. So these are some of the responses that people gave us as to why the 24-hour challenge worked so well for them. And I would ask you, are you ready to invest in you? Are you ready and willing to invest 24 hours in transforming your wealth? Well, you may be asking yourself, this sounds fantastic. It sounds new, it sounds fresh, it sounds fun, and I'd love to put some money back in my pocket, but how much does this cost? Well, we've been running this 24-hour challenge for $47, and we figured that was a pretty fair trade. If somebody was willing to invest 24 hours and $47 to put $1,200 back in their pocket, that was a pretty fair trade. But what we decided to do is we're running a special right now, and we want more people to put money back in their pocket because we want more and more testimonials of people who are doing the habits of the wealthy. So here's what we've decided to do. For right now, for only $7, you can play the 24-hour challenge. Now that's about the cost of 2 Starbucks coffees. And I think that's a pretty fair trade if you think about it, because the Starbucks coffee may make you feel good for a couple of minutes, but putting $1,200 back in your pocket or shaving off $100 or $200 or $300 or $400 or $500 a month off of your expenses or finding ways to reallocate your wealth is going to help you in ways that a cup of coffee can't. So here's the great news. If you're ready to get started, all you have to do is click the buy button below right now. And as soon as you commit, your 24-hour wealth challenge is going to begin immediately. Now, here's even better news. We have a triple money back guarantee. I guarantee you this. Number one, you're going to have the ultimate quality. Okay? We want you to win and we want to support you. So if for any reason over the next 21 days you want a refund, no worries, we'll give you a refund. We also promise you this, you're going to have deep and lasting results. In this 24 hours, we've had more people say that it shifted their relationship with money than anything they've ever done before. And number three, we promise you this. We're going to have a positive impact on your life. We've committed our lives to helping more people around the world create happiness, health, and wealth in their life. And we've been doing it with tens of thousands of people in over 45 countries. And we'd love for you to join our success circle. We'd love to support you in creating more wealth, more health, and more happiness in your life. So it's really simple. Once you commit, here are your next steps. You're going to receive an email with instructions to take the first step of the challenge. Very simple. Number two, you can do this immediately, or you can wait until you have some time later today or tomorrow to start your 24-hour challenge, but I highly recommend you take advantage of our $7 offer. Number three, in the next video, you'll get specific instructions of exactly what to do to begin changing our financial life and creating more wealth now. It's step by step by step. It's fun and it's super easy. Keep in mind, this works for 100% of the people who take action. It's that simple. You've already seen the habits of the wealthy and the poor. One of the keys is they take action, and we want to incentivize you to do the same thing. The next one is you'll continue to get encouraging emails from me throughout the next 24 hours. I want to stay connected with you. I want to inspire you. I want to make sure that you're taking action in 24 hours to jumpstart your financial wealth and to turn things around. And at the end, we're going to do a victory webinar together to celebrate your renewed understanding of wealth for your life and share your financial wins. You know, most people in life ask themselves to do more and more stuff. They keep pushing themselves to achieve greater and greater levels. But if you don't press the pause button, celebrate your wins, and give yourself some recognition, what's the odds you're going to continue to push yourself at the next level? Most people won't. They get tired, they get frustrated, and they feel like they're working so hard but never ever winning. So we want you to feel differently. We want you to enjoy your path to wealth. And the real question is, do you really want to change your life? You see, your desire to change must be greater than your desire to stay the same. Wealth truly is a choice, and we believe that one of the best ways that you can jumpstart your wealth is to join us in this upcoming 24-hour Ultimate Wealth Challenge. Feel free to hop in there now. Let's get your game started, and I'll look forward to connecting with you on the other side. This is Jim Bunch, founder of the Ultimate Game of Life, saying until we connect again, have fun, and remember, it's your choice to create your ultimate life.